قال بل سولت لكم أنفسكم أمرا فصبر جميل. Mental health, anxiety, depression, these are some very realistic problems that do exist even in our society. Sometimes you'll be surprised that some of us go through a lot. Some of us are troubled by their own family members. That you can fight with the whole world, but you cannot fight with your own people. You can't fight with your family. When your family does something to you, doesn't matter how strong you are from outside, from inside you'll become weaker and weaker and weaker. Because that is a bond that Allah created that you need in your life. You need your relatives. You need your brothers and sisters in your life. You need your parents. And those of us who go through this, we are not here to judge them. We are only able to imagine. We can only imagine what they go through, but we'll never be able to feel the pain. And depression, anxiety, and mental health issues, these are conditions that I have seen our brothers and sisters go through. They become depressed, and then something happens to you by your own people, then you go through all this. Just think about a father, Yaqub alayhi salam. He is being told by his own children that his youngest son has been killed. Think of a father who hears the news that his youngest son has been killed. Put yourself in that position and think how much you love your youngest child, and you just hear the news that he's been killed. Now, because Yaqub alayhi salam was a prophet of Allah, he already knew what is going on. Just think about his mental capacity and mental condition at that time when he hears that Yusuf alayhi salam has been killed. What was his reply? He says that فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ. Yaqub alayhi salam says that I am very much sure. He responded and he said that your soul must have tempted you to do something evil. He told his children, but I am not here to judge you. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to practice upon the beautiful patience. And I will leave the claims that you are making, the judgment of those claims on Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. And I will not do anything. I will leave it to my Allah. That's what he said. Now think about a brother now who is been surrounded by 11 of his siblings. And they have all held him, now they are throwing him in the water well. And they have decided that they want to kill him. They want to kill him and they want to make him vanish out of jealousy and envy. Just put yourself in a position when you are surrounded by 11 people and now they want to kill you. What would be going on in your mind? All those dreams, all those future plans that you have, you see them vanishing away. And you know for a fact that I'm a goner. I'm gone. That's it. Done. You won't even remember anything else. But now you want to pray kalima, la ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, I'm gone. 11 people and one, I won't be able to fight them. Think about Yusuf alayhi salam when they were throwing him. While he is being thrown in the well, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala is conveying him a message. And he is saying that indeed, don't you worry, you shall one day inform them of their affairs and what they have done to you. And while he's being thrown in the well, while he doesn't have anything else, Allah is ensuring him that don't worry, don't worry. So one side a father who is practicing patience, and other side a son who is being promised by Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, both in a vulnerable situation. Now what happens to both of them? One is practicing patience and other one now putting his trust in Allah. So what happened with Yaqub alayhi salam? Yaqub alayhi salam eventually, after everything that gone through with Yusuf alayhi salam, he was going through so much anxiety that he became blind. And when Yusuf alayhi salam eventually came to know about his father, then Allah tabarak wa ta'ala have granted shifa in the hand of Yusuf alayhi salam, and he sent some sort of cloth to put it on the eyes of his father, and eventually Yaqub alayhi salam got his eyesight back. And eventually Yusuf alayhi salam then got united with the father. And what happened with Yusuf alayhi salam, that is the lesson that we should take today. What he hasn't been through when he was thrown in the water well, now Allah has promised him that don't worry, you practice your patience and you put your trust in me. Yusuf alayhi salam was then captured by a group, then he was sold as a slave, then somehow he got into the palace, then he was accused of doing zina, then he was thrown in the jail. He's going through all this, but what hasn't changed in him? His tawakkul and his trust in Allah. He kept on believing in Allah. He kept on telling himself that my brothers have done this to me, but I will never let anyone judge me. When you're wrong, when you're not wrong, stand your ground. And never let the troubles of others affect your iman and trust in Allah. Stay strong. If you're going through anxiety, depression, that is a medical condition. We're not saying that you shouldn't. This is something can happen to you. But let that not affect your iman and tawakkul in Allah. Once you have that in your heart and in your mind, then eventually there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Then Yusuf alayhi salam was granted the kingdom. Yusuf alayhi salam was granted all the goodness of this dunya. Even after he got everything, what does he want still? He's making dua in the court of Allah. Anta waliyyi fid dunya wal akhirah. Ya Allah, I still want your friendship and I don't want anything else. Fid dunya wal akhirah. In this dunya and even in the hereafter. Even after I got everything, the only thing I want from you is your friendship, Ya Allah. Do not let me away from your remembrance. And then what he says, Ya Allah, if you want to grant me something, then grant me Islam and Iman at the time of my death. That is the greatest gift that you can give me, Ya Allah. And he makes this dua in the court of Allah. So eventually both father and son, they gone through this sort of mental health issues and anxiety and all the troubles that they've gone through, but one thing didn't change in them, both the cases, their trust and tawakkul in Allah. And eventually Allah tabarak wa ta'ala promised them, while Yusuf alayhi salam was being thrown in the well, he was promised that don't you worry, those who have troubled you, I will make them come to you and ask you for the forgiveness. And that's what exactly happened. Those brothers who once conspired to kill him, they eventually went to beg him for the forgiveness. And that can happen to any of us. Do not let your direction astray or go away from the remembrance of Allah. Keep progressing to the success. Whatever wishes and whatever dreams you have, keep moving. And have your trust in Allah. And one day those people who done something to you, Allah will make them come to you, if you are not in the wrong. And all that you've gone through, Allah will make that go away. So that is what we learn from Surah Yusuf. Surah Yusuf is a very powerful surah. There are many lessons that we learn from this surah, especially these realistic issues that we go through. Even after everything he's gone through, Yusuf alayhi salam's iman did not move. What we do? Oh, I don't think there is any power. I'm going through all this, but Allah is not looking at me. What's the point of praying namaz? What's the point of praying Quran? What's the point of doing this and that? This is what normally goes through our mind while I have to go through all this. Go through the rough patch in your life, and then when your good time comes, you will enjoy and you will forget everything you've gone through. So I sincerely pray, may Allah tabarak wa ta'ala keep our iman strong. May Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala keep His trust and His tawakkul intact in our hearts and in our minds. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا الله.